Oh, wow, guys, hey,
Oh, hey, what's up, man? Guys, I wanted to address some of the comments I've been getting from the community, okay? And many of these comments, people are saying, hey, ease up on the noises, okay? Ease up on the sound effects, ease up on the stupid editing, ease up on the, 10 years ago editing, all this kind of crap, okay? And to those people, I say, I accept. I will not do it anymore. This, never again, okay?
will not happen ever again.
Not gonna do it ever again. Let's go.
Call a crackhead.
Call crackhead.
Say the line, Bart!
Call a crackhead.
Well, that's right, guys. There's a media figure that we like to squeeze for content on this channel. Okay, just juice, just out of a stone. Like out of a stone, we squeeze as much content out of we can as Joe. That sentence made not a lot of sense. We like to squeeze as much content as we can out of Joe. So that's right, guys. Today, we have what we call a Joe check, okay?
Joe check. Here we go. Generally speaking,
Chinese people look Chinese. Tulsi, great classy fit, okay? Joe, terrible fit, okay? Guys, do not wear the Amazon Basics looking ass muscle hoodie, goddamn you, okay?
There's a chess game, and the ultimate checkmate is, what's a woman?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I mean, when you're coming to with wokeness and you can identify as a woman, you get to use the female restroom. Like, okay, but what is it?
Right.
What's a woman?
Yep.
Can a man get pregnant? Yes. Okay. Well, what is it? Can a biological male get pregnant? And then people panic and they start. The people that identify as a woman are capable of being pregnant, and people that identify as a male are capable of also being pregnant. Like, what are you saying?
Yeah.
Say, if you identify as a woman, what are you identifying as? Like, that's the documentary, the Matt Walsh documentary.
Exactly.
Which is fucking amazing. And also amazing that no one's reviewing it.
Sniffing.
No one's reviewing it.
And
that
why?
documentary
How could
is
that be?
fantastic because Matt Walsh and you can only get it on the Daily Wire, I think, which is unfortunate.
I'll
but
subscribe.
I get it.
When Joe says this thing about the What is a Woman documentary, I just wonder, like, when Joe sees like a commercial for like a Samsung, one of those Samsung talking refrigerators or whatever, smart refrigerator or whatever crap, there's a commercial on there with like a family, and the family comes together because of this overpriced, ridiculous refrigerator. I wonder if Joe looks at that and he's like, I got to get one of those refrigerators because that family came together on there. And then he's like, look, and then he makes you watch it. And you're like, Joe, I got to go. He's like, where are you going? And that's because, this group of political operatives made a, quote unquote documentary meant to elicit a certain reaction from people over the age of 50. That's what that is. Does Joe really think that there's not real answers to some of those questions? If you looked around a little bit or read about it.
Just because you have a fucking beard because you're taking testosterone, you're still a woman.
Joe, calm
this
down.
is crazy.
And that's what was so powerful about that documentary was both Matt Walsh's demeanor and frankly his respect with whoever he was questioning.
Right.
And the spectrum of people that he spoke to on this.
Absolutely.
From, psychiatrists, psychologists, doctors, professors.
Preach, Tulsi.
And even the woman who transitioned.
So I sat through this whole interview. God bless me. Thank you. And the first hour, it's 2 hours. The first hour is all this. It's devoted to the 0.56% of the population the last time I checked.
Like, what is everyone out of their fucking mind?
Yeah.
Like, we know children are incredibly malleable.
Right.
We know children are impulsive. They decide, like, there's kids, ready for this? My friend, his wife, is a school teacher.
Okay.
And she works at a school that had to install a litter box in the girls' room.
Okay.
Because there is a girl who's a furry who identifies as an animal, and her mother...
Okay, this is the perfect response to this, and I found this on Reddit, on the Red Scare podcast, Reddit or whatever crap, and it's called it's called Litterbox Discourse. So Rogan had Tulsi Gabbard on today, and they were complaining about litter boxes being installed in schools to appease kids who identify as cats. I like Joe Rogan a lot, by the way, not here to bash him, but are litter boxes in schools really a thing? My cousin said her friend said they were in her school. Rogan said his friend's wife said they were in her school. In her school. Whenever I hear about litter boxes in schools, it's 2 degrees removed from it's 2 degrees removed, never primary. That's a good point. I've never heard this even on the internet of somebody like, I walked into a school, a first grade, and there was a kid taking a giant dump into a litter box, and then he scratched it over. You know how cats do, because they're embarrassed. If there are any cats watching this now, don't worry about it. You know, it's totally natural. You know, you don't need to be ashamed of that, okay? But this is totally true. I've never heard of a firsthand story of there's a kid who does his number ones and his number twos in a litter box in the school bathroom. It's always, a guy at a gas station told me that he saw that. And one of the people on Reddit puts, if there's a litter box in a school bathroom, a student put it there. Deschedule weed and make old people using the internet schedule one. I agree with that. And I think Joe's a prime example of that. You got to take a break, Joe.
The worst thing that, I don't know how well known this is, but I saw a brochure that the Department of Health and Human Services put out.
Oh, word? You saw a brochure? Oh, shit. Okay. Hold on. I wasn't listening. Let me get ready.
On what is gender affirming care.
Uh-huh.
It basically says that if parents refuse or fail to provide this gender affirming care, then Child Protective Services will have the authority to step in and try to intervene for the sake of the child.
Wow.
And so when you look at
So if a kid is just...
So if a kid says to me,
generally speaking, Chinese people look Chinese.
Can I report him to the cops? Is that Joe's question? Let's see.
Going through a period in their life where they decide I'm a girl or I'm a boy.
Right.
And the parents say, hey, let's wait until you turn 18. You might grow out of this. And the kid's like, fuck that. I'm calling Child Protective Services.
Whoa.
And then Homeland Security or whoever the hell it is comes in.
Take your kid.
And physically forces the parents to do the bidding of the minor child.
Right.
With the threat of taking your child away from you.
Oh, my God. Tulsi.
How did anybody allow it to get this far?
All right, this is great. I think I would like Tulsi to maybe provide a link or something to that. What is it, a pamphlet? Tulsi went into the health center. She's like, oh, take this one. Oh, this is a guide to local attractions. You know, she takes all these. But I think what she might be talking about is the state that I live in, the great state of Texas. Show it some respect, guys, okay? In Texas, as a goofy and totally cynical political stunt to trick people, basically, some government lunatics here did this. I'll just read this from the Texas Tribune. This is the latest chapter in a months-long legal battle over whether providing medically indicated gender-affirming healthcare under the guidance of a doctor could result in a finding of child abuse by the state. In February of 2022, following a non-binding legal opinion from Attorney General Ken Paxton. Ken Paxton! What do you do all day, man? I don't know how to make up stuff like this. Governor Greg Abbott, another brilliant genius, directed the Department of Family and Protective Services to investigate parents who provide gender-affirming care to their transgender children. Now, this is a legal no-go. So they were doing these political stunts in Texas in February. In March, there's a post on the HHS website, Health and Human Services website, that says stuff like this. HHS is releasing guidance to state child welfare agencies through an information memorandum that makes clear that states should use their child welfare systems to advance safety and support for LGBT. Oh man, I'm turning into an old person. That's how you know. That's one of the signs of dementia, is when you can't say the thing LGBTQ. And support for LGBTQ youth, which importantly can include access to gender-affirming care. Oh, God, they're going to take your kids away. Just to put this in a little bit of perspective, because it's kind of interesting. This is in Texas, so this is where a lot of this stuff originated, the stuff that she's, let's be honest, misrepresenting. In Texas, about 0.06 human beings between the age of 13 and 17, okay, that's what they're talking about. we're really upset about these transgender kids. In Texas, about 0.06% of the population. Okay? What the Texas government is doing is targeting people who have no power, and they're very small in numbers, 0.06, using them as a political pawn to scare easily influenced people. And now we're seeing Joe falling for it and Tulsi Gabbard perpetuating it. Do we trust Tulsi? I don't know. So far, not so good, Tulsi.
The Democratic Party of the past, the Democratic Party that I joined, doesn't exist anymore. The party that was, the party of JFK, of Dr. Martin Luther King, the party of inclusivity, the Big Tent party that welcomed and encouraged this marketplace of ideas and conversations and people who held different views. The party of, that championed women and equality and the rights of people in our society. That party it doesn't exist anymore. And instead we have a party that's being led by people who have gone insane with this ideological fanaticism. And there are a lot of different issues, a lot of different examples.
Details, please.
The whole issue of biology and the trans issue is just one of them. There are so many different others. Parents you don't have a right to raise your kids now. You don't have a right to say what they're being taught in schools now. The state, the government, the teachers unions, only they have that right and responsibility. They're undermining families. They don't believe in the rule of law. Defund the police, the Supreme Court. We don't agree with them, so they're illegitimate. There's so many different examples of
those are some good ones.
These ideologues.
Oh yeah, Tulsi's lost it. Okay, so it's like, okay, so I guess you're a Republican? We trying to get a job on Fox News? The Democratic Party used to be about ideas. Everybody bringing their own diverse ideas. And then one of her examples is like, they don't respect the rule of law because they say the Supreme Court is illegitimate. So she's talking about the abortion stuff. So, the Democratic Party used to be a place where we could argue whether or not women should have the right to decide not to give birth. Yeah, I think that's all probably off the table. Yeah. So they're not tolerant anymore. Okay, Tulsi. All right. She's like, what? She's like, what? Why are you making that face? No, it's fine, Tulsi. I gotta go. She's like, where? I'll go with you.
You have kind of the very loud activists who don't represent, I think, even the majority of the Democratic Party, but the AOCs of the world, who are almost like these radical religious zealots,
right?
And they are ideologues. Meet a kid in Walmart. And whatever they choose is the battle of the day.
Yes.
If you are against them on that, forget it. You're done.
What is that woman's name? Rashida
Tlaib.
Yeah, I'm sure you watched this, where she was communicating with the heads of these banks. Yeah. And she was asking them about...
I've seen this on multiple Joe episodes where he goes into this story. He's really worked up by this. It's kind of baffling. But this is an interesting window into the mind of Joe. He's kind of pissed off by these the squad members, I guess they're called. He's kind of pissed off at them. And this is the reason he gives.
You should see this. See if you can find this, where she's talking to these the heads of these banks, where they're talking about funding fossil fuel projects in the future.
Right.
And she asked them point blank, will you fund fossil fuel projects in the future?
Weird.
And they said yes. And if we didn't, that would be devastating to the United States. And then she goes on. We'll play it for you.
Okay.
Because Jamie will find it. It's so bonkers, because the first thing she goes to is, we gave student debt forgiveness, and those people have bank accounts, and we're going to urge them to take their money out of your bank account. So it's like we bribe these people by giving them $10,000. Right. If you really want to help them, make it so that you can get out of student debt. You really want to help them? Make it so that a bankruptcy actually absolves you of student debt, because it doesn't, because it's a corrupt system. So fuck all this, you're $10,000, because $10,000's nonsense. These people are $150,000, $200,000 in the hole, and some of them actually wind up getting their Social Security docked when they're in their 60s.
This is actually true,
because they still owe money from student loans that didn't help them at all.
Exactly.
And she uses that. She holds it over their head.
Oh, God. Okay, so this is kind of a long blah, blah clip. And I like what he said about just get people out of debt. And he says let them file for bankruptcy. It's like, I guess that's a solution, but we could stop being a miserable, creepy third world hellhole of a country and make a college free, which is not a big deal, entirely doable, but that's not even on the table. But if you watch that clip, it's on YouTube. It's just Rashida Tlaib gives this CEO of JP Morgan a hard time. She's like, hey, sir, shut up. She's like, hey, sir, shut your mouth, you turd. Because he's been saying that we shouldn't have done $10,000 student debt relief. But this just really pisses off Joe. This just for some reason, this clip, I know why, because he saw it on Fox News. Fox News did a little spin on it. But this clip just infuriates Joe that this congressperson, one of the few somewhat progressive members of Congress, would tell this bank CEO, this mega bank CEO, hey, the people who student loan that 10 grand helped, they shouldn't bank with you anymore because you were against it. This just pisses Joe. I don't know. It's hard to figure out what's going on in the noggin of Joe. But he makes everybody watch this clip. If you get on the JRE, man, you're watching this clip, okay? Which, bring the old Joe back, where he would show a clip of a bear, eating a dog or whatever. Oh, look at this. And people, oh, God, Joe, how do you find this? That's the funner Joe. That's the Joe we like. Not this new Joe where he's like, hey, this woman stood up to a CEO of a mega monopoly bank. She sucks, man. She sucks. I'm Joe.
But the danger of that is you take away all the boundaries of, what is true and what is false.
Right.
You take away the boundaries
like
of the things that science actually does prove.
Right.
And what are we left with then? We have no foundation,
Yep.
and then we end up where we're at. Like, oh, okay, well, today we're going to promote pedophiles.
Whoa!
That's what we're going to promote.
Jeez, Tulsi, where'd that come from?
Hello, Tushy. The news and the left promotes pedophilia.
That's what we're going to promote. Today, we're going to push books in public schools, kindergarten, first grade, third grade, fifth grade, that are causing your child to say, well, I don't know if I'm a boy or I don't know if I'm a girl.
Yes.
I saw some of these books that some of the parents in Virginia and other states are protesting at their boards of education, trying to get these books removed from their kids' schools. These books, I thought, okay, how bad can it be?
I mean, this is truly amazing. It's amazing that she mentions this going on in Virginia, too, because if you look up this story, and Rick Perlstein talks about this in Reaganland, too. If you look up this story, you can look it up in the 70s, in the mid-70s, I think it was. I think I've told this story here before, but who cares? Who gives a crap? This same kind of hysteria happened in this school district, but it was about books that contained material involving integration. And the same kind of panic happened. And the group of people in Virginia burnt down, I think it was a school board building or something like that. You could look this up, or you could look this story up. So we've been here before. And clearly, if you read the history about this, Reaganland is a good book for it. The motive behind this stuff is not good at all.
In my conversations with lesbian women, that lesbians have a real hard time with trans women entering into what is, in their mind, feminist spaces, and then running things. And running things like a man, and running things with threats and with aggression and insults and treating people the way biological men tend to treat people when they're behaving at their worst.
Oh, boy. Look at Joe's face.
And, that's a real giant issue, because if you're a woman and you're a feminist, you're supposed to be ideologically left, maybe even far left in some of their eyes.
I don't know what's going on with Joe with this stuff. What's going on with you, Joe? Because this is now, it just feels like he's throwing anything against the wall. Joe's really pissed off because Joe's, he's at the feminist bookstore. He goes to all the readings. Joe's got his moleskin notebook. This is what he does when he's not doing his karate kicks. And he's like, man, these trans women sure are running things. So this, just like the cat litter thing, this is, coming from life experience and not just Fox News nonsense.
When you look at the two, I think there's potential there for that party. That's the Republican Party is kind of turned more towards populism and actually fighting for working people. You look at a recent vote that was taken, on the issue of foreign policy and war and peace.
Okay.
The Republican Party had I think it was 50 members of Congress voted against that massive multi-billion-dollar funding package for Ukraine and have been saying, hey, we shouldn't be waging this proxy war against Russia, or at least we need to have a debate or accountability. 0 Democrats voted against that. So you look at, the Democratic Party that used to have people who, protested the Vietnam War and others. Now, the Democratic Party leadership is very strongly within the grips of the military-industrial complex. And
Tulsi Gabbard is full of crap. She's full of crap, I'm convinced. Okay? She's like, the Republicans are now, they're the anti-military industrial complex people now. I'll give you an example how she's just bullshmitting here. This is from December 2021. Senate passes $768 billion defense bill, sending it to Biden. Let's look at some of the numbers on this GitApp. The bill, which angered anti-war progressives who had hoped Democrats' unified control of Washington would lead to significant cuts in military spending. Yeah, that's going to happen, bro. Passed overwhelmingly on an 89-10 vote. I wonder who those 10 people were who opposed it. 89-10. Who were the 10? Let's take a look. Oh, it was 5 Democrats and Bernie Sanders, and then 3 people who call themselves libertarians. Okay, so, in other words, Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Yo Gabba Gabba. Okay, guys, we don't make fun of people's names. Ever. And I did that to show you what not to do. So, Tulsi Gabbard, full of crap, as usual. I guess, I don't know what she's trying to do here. I guess it's get a thing on Fox News, start some kind of Jimmy Dore kind of crap on YouTube. I don't know what she's doing. But she's certainly wasting everyone's time, goddamn her.
What happens when you negotiate an end to a war? You can look throughout history. Nobody walks away completely happy. But that's what needs to happen for the sake of humanity at this point, and our leaders are failing to do so. And so we're at a point where the future is in our hands. And what are we willing to do?
I've been giving them a little bit of a hard time, Tulsi and Joe, but there are some really genuine and I think positive moments in this interview where they're talking about anti-war stuff, which I agree with a lot of it. And there's some genuine moments of concern about, is a nuclear situation gonna destroy all human life? And they're both really, I think, genuinely trying to figure out, how did this happen? And how can we avoid this happening in the future? So it always reminds you, both Tulsi and Joe are human beings who deserve respect. And even though I'm giving a hard time and taking a dump on them, they are people, okay? So, it is what it is. And I gave Joe a little bit of a hard time about the fit, but at least he's not wearing shorts. No, Joe, come on.
Generally speaking,
Joe.
Chinese people.
Wipe your ass with them.
Well, guys,
I don't care if Monday's blue, Tuesday's gray, and Wednesday too, okay? So that's where we're at right now in terms of the week, okay? So we don't like it. We take a litter box style of a little kid dump on it. Wednesday, I'm talking about. But we're getting through it, we're pulling through it, and we're saying...
I'm calling bluff.
...to the day of the week, for some reason. And then we say...
Can't do this anymore, man.
so guys, even though it's Wednesday,
why don't you go out and do this? And that. And...
Uber cars.
Hope you're having a fun week, guys. Love you. And hopefully we don't get nuclear annihilation. I'm hoping, but, if we do, we had a good run. It's fine. It'll be fine. Love you guys, and bye-bye. Hey, guys. you're only getting a fraction of the weekly shows. If you want a new motherfucking episode every day, subscribe on Patreon for as little as 2 bones. You get the patron-only Tuesday and Thursday shows, the Bookablega show where we look at important books, and the goddamn weekly behind-the-scenes show. And for only 25 bones, you could become a producer and get your name up here. Look at these people. These people make this show possible. If it wasn't for them, nothing. We don't have a show. We got nothing, and it's garbage. And we have to just leave. We have to just basically walk away. And we don't even really know where we're walking. That's the truly troubling part about all this. But please, become a patron today for as little as 2 bones, or 5 bones is another level, or 10, or you go the full 25 and you get up here. Big special thanks to these people. Love you guys. Love you guys so much.